Have you ever wondered why the news plays the same 5 stories again and again? Let me give you a little hint. Brainwashing and repetition is the most basic form of brainwashing. Join me as we look at the news cycle and talk about why the mainstream media is so gutless and afraid to report the truth. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. We made it. One more week, and here we are talking about conspiracy and news. This is Troubled Minds News. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and this is a show that we get together and talk about actually some quick hit news bits and just kind of a way to start and end the week, right? As you know, as I've said in the intro there, that the news media that is, as it were, they're terrible. The entire thing is set up to brainwash and to basically manipulate your thought patterns. And we talked a little bit about that last night with the CIA show on Troubled Minds. And there's always more to it, right? There's always more to that story. So we'll continue kind of peeling off that narrative a little bit as we go in the weeks to come. But it just makes sense to me that if, like I said, I'm one person, right? And so I can, spend 15 or 20 minutes and peel off a bunch of news stories here and, give you a better news actual show than the powers that be. And it's a shame. It's terrible that we've come to this, but somebody's got to do it, right? I mean, in some capacity, well, here we are getting together, having a good time, but then also there are things that we need to know about in the world we live in, and that's what this is about. So, welcome to Troubled Minds News, and this is the show that kind of started with the other show, Troubled Minds, if you guys are familiar with that. I see all you guys in the chat. What's up? Thanks for being enthusiastic about the show. So I know all of you there. I know you guys know all about Troubled Minds. But if you don't and you're new to this, it's a show we do Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Goes for 3 hours approximately, and we talk about all the weird stuff, right? We talk about aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, and this show, Troubled Minds News, actually became its own thing as a part of that. So we used to do a huge news segment on Troubled Minds, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So here we are with our own news show. So yeah, right. Never did I think I'd be playing news anchor, but here we go. All right. So as part of the transparency process, not just with Troubled Minds, but this show and everything we do, well, you can pick up the phone and be part of this. If you want to tell me I'm full of shit, or you want to say, Mike, I like the work you're doing, or it's somewhere in between, you can call. Be on the show, 702-957-1037. That is a Las Vegas area code, and you can also join the Discord at troubledminds.org. The Discord link is right on top. You cannot miss it. Just click it. It will give you a direct invite, and Discord is a chat client, a voice client, and lots of folks are using it for video games. We use it for a talk show and to build a community, and that's what this is about. So let me turn my volume up just one moment here. I hate not being able to hear myself so well. I want to hear every lip smack that comes out of my mouth so I can, try and keep the performance, well, as less sloppy as possible, if you get my meaning. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Let's do this. Let's get on to the news. What's up, guys? I see you out there. Happy Friday. Thanks again for everybody for being here today. All right, let's go to cbsnews.com, and just another day, just another news day with these knuckleheads. But check this out. This is from July 23rd, which I believe is today. Is that today? Let's see what the date is. Yep, July 23rd. It sure is. All right. outbreaks of a drug-resistant superbug fungus spread in 2 U.S. cities, per the CDC. The CDC reports. All right, this is cool. How could this go wrong, right? Amazing. Outbreaks of a drug-resistant superbug fungus spread among patients in hospitals and long-term care facilities in Texas and Washington, D.C., the CDC reported Thursday. The fungus, Candida auris, A-U-R-I-S, preys on people with weakened immune systems. Oh, neat. Are there any of those left? I thought COVID got them all. That's what we're supposed to believe. But anyway, the CDC said evidence suggests these cases involved person-to-person transmission, which would be a first for the U.S. The clusters in the 2 cities appear to be unrelated to each other, the report said. The 30-day mortality in both outbreaks combined was 30%. Holy shit, 30%. Although other health conditions may have also played a role. Candida auris, which was first seen in the U.S. in 2013, is a resistant to multiple antifungal drugs that we have. This is a quote, resistant to multiple antifungal drugs that we have, and is also resistant to all the things that we use to eradicate bacteria and fungal strains in the hospital. Dr. Nita Ogden, an internal medicine specialist, told CBS News in 2019, after health officials issued a warning about the emerging threat. Yeah, right. So no problem here, right? This is fine. This is all fine and well. This is how we do things in the world these days. We just have a new super bug popping up out of every corner of every wet market and bio lab that's out there. But I'm not implying this is coming from either of those places. But it is concerning. No, like I said, in the days before the plague, as it were, we used to see this stuff coming out of China all the time, right? Not maybe this in particular, but we'd see, the bird flu again, and we'd be like, crap. But now, when something like this happens, I think we have to take it a little more seriously, don't you? Yeah. So that's what's going on with this. And as we begin, there's the first one. There's some good news for your Friday. So happy Friday. Outbreaks of a drug-resistant superbug. Yeah, see? I could be a morbid dick as well. All right, let's continue. SciTech Daily. Let's keep on trucking. If you guys want to be part of the show, you know what to do. 702-957-1037, taking your phone calls. If you want to talk about any of the things that we're talking about tonight, anything from the previous shows that we've done, if you just want to say hi, you're totally welcome. Give us a call, troubledminds.org, phone number, and the Discord link is there, and get your ass in here. Come say hi. Here we go. This is from SciTech Daily. Check this out. This is pretty cool. Let's get the link. All right. So as always, guys, I'm dropping my links in the chat. You know me. I like to cite my sources, even if the source is bunk or BS or somewhere even worse than that. I want you to see where it came from, so you can judge that source on its own merits. Right. That source. Right. There's my inside sources, the internet. All right. Here we go. So SciTech Daily. Undersea volcano discovered near Christmas Island that looks like the Eye of Sauron. Oh, dun dun dun, right? Where's my Lord of the Rings key when I need it? Looking like the Eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings, an ancient undersea volcano was slowly revealed by multi-beam sonar 3,100 meters below our vessel, 280 kilometers southeast of Christmas Island. This was on day 12 of our voyage of exploration to Australia's Indian Ocean territories aboard CSIRO's dedicated ocean research vessel, the RV Investigator. Previously unknown and unimagined, this volcano emerged from our screens as a giant oval-shaped depression called a caldera. It's 6.2 kilometers across. It's surrounded by a 300 meter high rim resembling Sauron's eyelids, and has a 300 meter high cone-shaped peak at the center. Anyway, this is the photograph here. Let's open a new tab. Let's zoom this in. Over here on the left side, you see. Let's see. Yeah, let's full screen that. There we go. Over on the left side, you see the Eye of Sauron, and they're calling what that Berid Dur and Irid Lithui. Is that what you say? I don't know. Apparently this is Middle Earth under the water. What the hell's going on here? I don't know. Other than I thought this was pretty cool because of the Eye of Sauron. I have a joke we use with the dog, the Eye of Sauron. She has a little training collar. It's I know before you guys are all horrified. I use it for the beep. I don't. It's like a shock collar, but I don't shock her with it. So I don't even put it on her. I put it I hang it on her little kennel. So basically, if she starts crying, I'll just beep, and she's like, "Oh, it's like the be quiet." So anyway, I call that little thing the Eye of Sauron because it's always watching her, right? So anyway, inside joke there for the dog, and I promise you, I've never shocked a dog in my life. So everybody relax. That's not what this is about. But it is a funny inside joke, so I thought maybe you'd like to hear it. The Eye of Sauron, as it were. But here we go. We have the undersea volcano, and it looks like the Eye of Sauron. So pretty good stuff. I thought that was kind of a neat thing to find. Well, and we'll see. Hopefully, it's not a super volcano that brings about the end of all days. Well, that would be less good, wouldn't it? All right, so let's do this. Now, this is weird. This is from Vice.com, and this is what is this? This is the universe is a giant donut that we live inside, new research suggests. Yeah, what? Right, what? Yeah, okay, Now, the idea that the universe has a 3D torus shape ties into some pretty far-out stuff, like the CIA's 1980s Gateway Report on Psychic Phenomena. Without scientific instruments or knowledge to tell them otherwise, you can forgive ancient humans for initially believing the Earth was flat. After all, from a human perspective, the world does appear to stretch out before us without suddenly sloping down like a half-pipe. But while this notion has been thoroughly disproven for centuries, a new kind of flat versus curved debate has recently captured academic imagination. And this time, scientists are debating the very shape of the universe itself. In a paper recently published in the ARXIV preprint server, a team of astrophysicists and cosmologists from Ulm University and the University of Lyon, Lyon, have studied the leftover light from the Big Bang, known as the cosmic microwave background, and determined that the universe may not be a flat plane, as many scientists currently believe. The example in our paper is a donut-shaped universe model, explains Thomas Bouchert, a professor of cosmology at the University of Lyon and co-author of the new paper, in an email. This shape is also known as a 3 torus, Buchert wrote, aka a three-dimensional donut. The idea that the universe has a torus shape is at the center of some pretty far-out stuff, which, as the CIA's 1980s Gateway Report on Psychic Phenomena stated there. Now, this paper has not yet been peer-reviewed, but Bouchert said it has been submitted to journals for consideration. And so the paper here, if you want to read this about the donut universe, what the hell is this? Yeah. It is what it is. Where is the paper? Let's see. Is that the paper? No. Anyway, I'll find the paper. And but yeah, what do you think? Donut universe? I don't know. That's a little bit weird, right? This is a little bit weird to me. What does it mean? Like the CIA 1980s Gateway Report on Psychic Phenomena? I don't know where that ties into this, but let's click the link and find out. I thought it was more interesting that the universe is shaped like a donut, and we're discussing it as such. I thought flat Earth was weird, but I guess not. Vice.com, how to escape the confines of time and space, according to the CIA. Wow, all right. This is new to me. In the 80s, the spy agency investigated the gateway experience technique to alter consciousness and ultimately escape space-time. Here's everything you need to know. Yeah, there it is. There's a big old article from Vice. I'll link this as well if you want to read it. Clearly, we're not going to read all this because this is a lot of stuff, but this might be a show next week. Sweet. Actually, I didn't follow that link till just now, so there you go. There's the information you need on the how to escape the confines of time and space according to the CIA. So yeah, a nice timeline here and everything else. So neat. Interesting. All right. So, but back to the donut and the universe. I don't know. What does this mean for you and me? Well, it surely doesn't mean we get more donuts in our life, does it? But that's okay because clearly they're probably bad for you. So we don't want it that anyway. But all right, here we go. Let's continue, shall we? Where are we at? Where are we at time-wise? I think we're good. Let's actually take a quick break and get a word from our sponsor, which, of course, is you. Push the button. Where's the button? This button? Yeah, this button. Let's do that.
Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up to 2 accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us.
All right, let's get back to it. Let's do it. Here we go. This is from CNBC.com. More standard news a-holes. But yeah, this is what we're looking at. Instead of the donut universe now, we're looking at this. Yep, that's right. Israel says Pfizer COVID vaccine is just 39% effective as Delta spreads, but still prevents severe illness. Weird? No? Don't you think? Weird. Yep. Pfizer and BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine is just 39% effective in Israel, where the Delta variant is the dominant strain, according to a new report from the country's health ministry. The 2-dose vaccine still works very well in preventing people from getting seriously sick, demonstrating 88% effectiveness against hospitalization and 91% effectiveness against severe illness, according to the Israeli data. However, of course, 39% effective means that people still catch the COVID, right? And people still getting the plague out there, even though they got the, whatever you call it, is it the jib jab? What's the term you have to say so you don't get taken off the internet? Pfizer and BioNTech, we just read that. The efficacy figure, which is based on an unspecified number of people between June 20th and July 17th, is down from an earlier estimate of 64% 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, and conflicts with data out of the UK that found the shot was 88% effective against symptomatic disease caused by the variant. However, the 2-dose vaccine still works very well. Like we said, 88% effectiveness against hospitalization and 91% against severe illness. Quote from Dr. Isaac Bogach, a infectious disease professor at the University of Toronto. He said this: "We have to be mindful that, with time, the effectiveness of these vaccines may wane." Oh, you don't say. Well, that's weird. That's weird. So, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. You know what I'm thinking, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Because if I do, right, Facebook will come get me on Twitch, right? I'm not going to say it. He stressed that the shots are still highly effective in preventing severe infection, helping hospital systems not get too overwhelmed heading into the colder months. That being said, we're still in the COVID era, and anything can happen, he said. Yeah, anything can happen. Quote, "We have to be prepared and we have to be nimble, that people may need a booster at some point." He added, "This close surveillance that's happening in countries like Israel, the UK, and other parts of the world is going to be very helpful in driving policy if and when we do need boosters. The Delta variant, already in more than 104 countries, is concerning health officials in the U.S. as they see more breakthrough infections which occur in fully vaccinated people, even though they are more mild." Yeah. White House Chief Medical Officer Dr. Anthony Fauci said fully vaccinated people might want to consider wearing masks indoors as a precaution against the rapidly spreading variant in the U.S. And as a side note, I went down to grab a 6-pack yesterday, right? Because that's the only reason I leave the house is to get beer. So I went and got a 6-pack. Actually, I didn't. I'll take that back because I went to the store. It's just a couple minutes away. I'm lucky enough to have a nice store with beer, cold beer, very close. So I went there and... well, I couldn't go in because I didn't bring my mask. And now they're requiring masks again. So... yeah, I went beerless yesterday, if you can believe that. But point being is that it's not about the beer. I think it's a funny aside, but it is startling to see all of the same shit coming back that was here not that long ago. That everybody was like, "Oh, when you get the jib jab, you're good to go, right? You don't have to wear the mask or do the things." Or, well, nope, it's all coming back to me. Yep, and here we are with all the rest of this, and it's terrible. And of course, now we have booster shots on the horizon. Very much, if you go back and listen to what Ash and I were saying way back in January, before all of this even hit, January of 2020, we were discussing exactly this, that even with a a vaccine that works, right, which they were still, at that point, was still a pipe dream, we said, what about the flu shot? Every year you have to get a different flu shot because it breaks apart into new variants and all the rest of this, right? So that's, and not only that, they're always behind it. Like the flu seasons are always behind the shot, it's the other way around. The new shot is always behind the flu seasons because it always is developing and mutating faster than they can make vaccines for. So that's why, if you've noticed, every year you have to get a new flu shot because the old flu shot doesn't work for the new flu. And so here we are. Well, exactly like we described. It's not going to be just a vaccine. It will be, that's right, it will be booster shots. It will be additional this, that, the other thing. And well, yep, here we are. The world we live in. Welcome to the world we live in. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, well. Yeah. Oh, well. Oh, well. Speaking of the CIA, lots of CIA news, right? I like the CIA. I do like the CIA. I just want to put that out there to the internet overlords that may be listening to every word I say. Hi, CIA. I think you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. All right. NPR.org reports this. The CIA director says he is escalating efforts to solve the Havana syndrome mystery. Yeah. Let's see what this looks like when you press the listen to the article button on NPR. Is there a nice voiceover or is it a robot?
In the director of the Central Intelligence Agency's private office, 7th floor of Langley headquarters, there's a clock showing the time in 5 cities: Washington, London, Moscow, Delhi, Beijing. There's also a sweeping view out across the lush green trees of suburban Northern Virginia, and there are framed family photos, a whole table covered with them right up next to the polished wooden desk of the director, William Burns.
Okay, if you took 25 seconds just to introduce this dude, you fail. CIA Director William Burns says he has redoubled the agency's efforts to uncover the cause of Havana syndrome, the mysterious set of ailments that has afflicted more than 200 U.S. officials and family members around the world. That includes the assignment of a senior officer who once led the hunt for Osama bin Laden to lead the investigation and tripling the size of a medical team involved in the probe, Burns told NPR on Tuesday in his first sit-down interview since being confirmed as the agency's chief in March. All right, so Gina Haspel's out, and this a-hole is in. And what's his name? Yep, William Burns, CIA Director William Burns. Quote, I am absolutely determined, and I spent a great deal of time and energy on this in the 4 months that I've been CIA Director to get to the bottom of the question of what and who caused this, Burns said, of course, referring to the Havana syndrome, the mysterious Havana syndrome, right, which we talked about in the past as being possibly what? First, it was some sort of audio weapon, then it was probably a microwave weapon, and then they described it as some sort of directed energy weapon. You remember how the terms have changed with this? And so anyway, in a wide-ranging exclusive interview with NPR's Mary Louise Kelly, Burns also discussed the CIA's future in Afghanistan and the theory that the coronavirus outbreak was caused by a leak from a Chinese state-run laboratory in Wuhan, because we're allowed to talk about that now, right? Remember how things change? Weird. He called the present moment a really important moment of transition in the world. Oh, I see. Quote, we're no longer the only big kid on the geopolitical block, especially with the rise of China. As you know very well, there's a revolution in technology which is transforming the way we live, work, compete, and fight. And so CIA, like everyone else in the U.S. government, has to take that into account, he said. Yep. And let's see what he had to say about the Havana syndrome. The Havana syndrome is real and it's serious, he says. Under Burns' direction, the CIA has tripled the number of full-time medical personnel at the agency who are focused on Havana syndrome and has shortened the waiting period for afflicted personnel to be admitted to the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. Quote, I'm certainly persuaded that what our officers and some family members, as well as other U.S. government employees have experienced is real and it's serious. Oh, I see. He's just speaking poorly in a sentence structure. Anyway, the director says he is seriously considering the very strong possibility that the syndrome is the result of intentional actions, adding that there are a limited number of potential suspects with the ability to carry out an action so widely across the globe. A report from last December by the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine found that microwave radiation is the most plausible explanation for the symptoms. Yep. To head the task force investigating the syndrome, Burns has appointed a veteran officer who helped lead the hunt for Osama bin Laden. The identity of that officer is still undercover, according to the Wall Street Journal. Weird. Quote, "We're throwing the very best we have at this issue because it's not only a very serious issue for our colleagues, it is for others across the U.S. government. But it's a profound obligation, I think, of any leader to take care of your people," Burns said. Boy, I'll bet you I speak as poorly in run-on sentences if you transcribe what I say. But hey, whatever. It is what it is. Nobody's perfect. But this is one of those pretty terrifying ones, like we've said in the past, right? What is it? Quiet, silent weapons for quiet wars or something like that, or the opposite. I can't remember the exact term. But this is exactly the stuff that's, again, remember, if you just have this little generator that can send out this non-audible pulse of whatever damage to people, and as they go to sleep you just turn it on in some neighborhood, like I said before, and everybody wakes up with brain damage. Something like this renders the Second Amendment futile, moot, and that's not good. That's not a good thing, right? And these are the things to think about. I have a hard time believing that the CIA doesn't know what this is. I think it's probably just propaganda and sources and methods and that stuff. I don't think it's a mystery. I'm pretty sure they know who did this and where it came from, right? Or at least have a really small list of suspects. So I don't know. Like, this is the type of stuff where when news comes out like this, sure, fine, go get him, big dog, smack him on the ass, and get in the game. Go catch the bad guys, right? But this in particular, I don't know. It's been going on for a long time. We were reporting on this literally years ago, on Troubled Minds. So back in the day when Frank was on the show, right? You guys remember Frank? And it was a long time ago. And we talked about it then as what the hell could really be happening here. And now, are you telling me, like, think about that. Several years later, the first time this was reported was 2016. And several years later, we're like 5 years later now, we're saying that the CIA has no idea what this is. Come on now. Let's be real. Of course they know what this is. Of course they know, right? Cenk Uygur. Anybody watch the Young Turks? Of course. The guy's a moron. Anyway, there you go. If you've ever watched them, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, well, sorry you didn't get the joke. All right. What's up? I miss Frank's voice. Yeah, me too. Frank's a good dude. All right. Here we go. Let's go to Extreme Tech. This is that huge super comet that's getting some of the news, right? That everybody's kind of talking about as being, who knows what this may be. But, this is a mysterious record-breaking comet has now grown a tail. Uh-oh. Kind of like Ash has a tail, or no? Anyway, astronomers announced earlier this year that an enormous 62-mile object was creeping inward from the fringes of the solar system. We didn't know what this mysterious visitor was at the time, but a recent development has shed light on the subject. The object, now officially designated C-2014 UN-271, began forming a coma or tail in recent weeks. That confirms it's a comet and may be the largest one ever discovered. UN-271 first appeared in astronomical observations in 2014, but it wasn't until June of this year that scientists were able to identify it in the old data. Because it was, and still is, so far away, detecting the comet was a computationally expensive problem. It's a bit more visible now and will become more so as it slides closer to the sun. The data released earlier this summer came from observations made in 2020 when the object was about 29 AU away. And of course, an AU is an astronomical unit, which is the distance from the Earth to the Sun. That put it around the orbit of Neptune. Following the announcement, astronomers rushed to get updated images of UN 271. The latest data from the Las Cumbres Observatory in South Africa shows a coma around this comet, and its current location is about 19 AU astronomical units away. In the image shown from the Las Cumbres Observatory, you can see UN 271 in the center. The bright spot is in the center of the comet's record-breaking nucleus. Let's see if we can get the image here. Let's try this. There you go. This is what we're dealing with, guys. This is the comet, and this is where it's going to go. So it's going. You see Saturn's orbit. It's going to be close. It's going to come down through here. This is what we're dealing with. So it does not pose a threat to Earth as far as we're aware at this point. There's been no call to action of engaging Bruce Willis and the team to go destroy this thing to save Earth or anything like that. So there it is. I don't know what to expect from this other than we're going to keep an eye on it, and it won't be here until, as you know, it's going to be months? Years. So I think it's not going to be here until 2030, right? 2031, something like that. So we've got some time. It's still on the way. It's way the hell out there, and it's kind of coming in. It's going to get as close as you see in the photograph there. And yep. There we go. We'll keep an eye on this. I do not believe this is doomsday, so everybody just chill, have a cold one, and don't worry about it. It is what it is. Let's see. What else do we got? What's up in the chat? I see you guys out there. How is everybody? Yeah. Let's see. What else is going on? Let's see. Audio biomechanical weapon. Yeah, could be, right, Matt? What's up, guys? What's up? Hello, everybody out there. I see you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for being part of this, and happy Friday again. Happy Friday. Where are we at time-wise? Let's take a quick break. You guys know how this works. This is Troubled Minds News. I'm your host, Michael Strange. Don't go anywhere. We'll be more news after the break. Be right back. All right, welcome back to Troubled Minds News. Let's keep on trucking. Let's talk about this, the BBC. The BBC, one of the other most trusted sources in news. Surely they don't deliver any sort of propaganda ever, right? Yeah, okay, well, let's read this. Gun owners' fears after firearms dealer data breach. Ooh, that sounds not good, right? That sounds not good. Yep. Here we go. Guntrader.uk told the BBC it learned of the breach on Monday and had notified the Information Commissioner's Office. Police, including the National Crime Agency, are investigating. One affected gun owner said he was afraid the breach could lead to his family being targeted by criminals. Gun ownership is tightly controlled in the United Kingdom, making guns difficult to acquire and potentially valuable on the black market. The individual, who did not wish to be named, told the BBC the breach, quote, seriously compromises my security arrangements for my firearms and puts me in a situation where me and my family could be targeted and in danger. Guntrader.uk said around 100,000 customer records were stolen, but no information relating to gun ownership or the location of firearms was taken. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that how... Notice how every time there's a hack, every single time, they're always like, well, they got some metadata and maybe the last four of people's credit card numbers, but they didn't get anybody's names or addresses or social security numbers, right? You ever notice that? Like, that's always the PR, we got hacked, but it wasn't really that bad, right? That's always the statement. Nobody's addresses, nobody's, right? No, not how many guns people own, nothing like this. Because, of course, right, that would be really bad. Well, and let's be real, that's probably what happened, okay? But they're saying, no. They didn't really get that much. This is almost negligible, right? This is one of those things that's like, nothing to worry about here. Well, yeah, I don't believe it. And anyway, let's go. In a statement published on its website, it said its personal data had been listed on a hacker's website. The British Association of Shooting and Conservation, the BASC, is urging its members to be vigilant around home security following the breach. Well, if they didn't get people's information about who lives where and has what firearms, then, well, why are you needing to be vigilant around home security? Weird, right? Weird how we have a two statements that are literally opposite. Weird. Anyway, quote, our advice to members would be to check home security and be extra vigilant. Make sure all firearms are appropriately locked away and make sure buildings are kept secure, it wrote. Well, I would think you would want one of those firearms to not be locked away, and then you have maybe a leg up on the competition, if you follow what I'm saying. But don't take my word for it. From all the comic books I've read and all the Hollywood movies I've seen, that seems to be the case. Arnold does quite well when he has a gun, not locked up in a closet. But anyway, just saying. I'm just saying. All right, what's up, guys? Let's see. What's up, Alien E-Chan? Mike, I think you need to invite Lou Elizondo onto your other show. I heard him say on an interview that he would be on any show no matter who asked him. Yeah, I could. That's one of those things that, sure, maybe. But anyway, make sure that you lock up your firearms in the closet so that they don't get stolen, right? You see how backwards that is? Yeah. All right. Here's another one. This is a great paper from sciencemag.org. Yeah, I will ask. I did notice that Stephen Cambion, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he was discussing, or he keeps tweeting at Lou Elizondo to try and get him on his show. And Stephen Cambion is, let's say he's rough around the edges, right? He gets psychics on his show and stuff and tries to expose them as frauds and things like this. And he's been tweeting to Lou Elizondo that Lou is basically a fraud and to come on the show and talk about it, right? Kind of challenging him. And Lou hasn't been on his show yet, so I think it's probably the way he asks. I think it's the way he asks. Anyway, there you go. What's the old saying? You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. Well, maybe that's the case. Anyway, here we go. Where are we at time-wise? How are we looking? How's everybody feeling out there? Is it one of those? Look, see, I scratched my face. You see that? You know what that means? I caught the plague. You're not supposed to touch your face, right? Anyway, this is from sciencemag.org. Summary: the interior of a planet holds important clues to its origin and thermal and dynamic evolution. Exploring. This is Mars. This is not a very good. Okay, never mind. This is not what I'm talking about. The interior of Mars. So there's a paper here where they're talking about the what the inside of it looks like, and I thought there was a little more here in this, but there's not. So forget it. It's a boring read. If you want a boring read just before bed, here you go. Sciencemag.org. You've got the link. But they're talking about the interior of Mars and what it looks like, and let's see if we can get a view of this. Yeah, the anatomy of the planet. That's probably a little better. We got a nice image at least. Now they're doing science on Mars and trying to figure out what the hell's going on up there, and all the rest of this cool stuff. So yeah, neat. Good. That's the type of stuff we need. Let's do more science. Let's get off this rock and let's set up Mars and the moon for the billionaires because the good news is though that the robots are not taken over just yet. So when the billionaires go to Mars, they will need people to help them, run the joint. So at least there's that. Maybe some of us will escape with Elon when he goes. Okay. Check this one out. This gets better. Reported from CNN, the most trusted source in news. Yeah, problems at a China nuclear power plant are serious enough to warrant a shutdown. French co-owner warns. Yep, the French power company that owns a nuclear power plant in China would shut it down if it could, due to damage to the fuel rods, a spokesperson said. But the decision is ultimately up to the plant's Chinese operator. That sounds good, doesn't it? The spokesperson for Electricité de France, okay, it's probably French, that's why it seems weird, said on Thursday that while it was not an emergency situation at the Taishan nuclear power plant located in China's southern Guangdong province, it was a serious situation that is evolving. If the reactor was in France, the company would have shut it down already due to the procedures and practices in terms of operating nuclear power plants in France, the spokesperson said. The spokesperson did not directly call on China to halt operations at the plant, noting it was a decision for its Chinese partner and majority shareholder in the plant, the China General Nuclear Power Group, the CGN. CNN first reported in June that the French company Framatome, an EDF subsidiary which supports operations in Taishan, had warned of an imminent radiological threat at the plant, prompting the United States government to investigate the possibility of a leak. Weird, right? I think that's the crux of this, is that the leak could be a thing, right? And if it is, well, we know how that's gone in the past. It's been not good. I think Chernobyl's still a thing, right? And that's a long time ago. That's a whole meltdown and three-eyed puppies and the whole deal. Not good. Not a good thing at all. And so, yeah, here we are, wondering if this is real or if this is just a PR cover of real of the real. Yeah, what's up, guys? Dark Devious, Doge, the main currency of Mars. Yes, indeed. What's up, guys? If you have comments on this or anything else, you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037, troubledminds.org, and you can come join the show. Tell me what you think about this. Feedback for the show is okay. You want to say hi, you got questions, comments, whatever. It's Friday after all, so we can kind of, just do our thing. Just hang out and be us. It's okay to be you. Regardless of what the world tells you, I promise you, it's okay to be you. Yeah, there you go. There's my public service announcement for the day. But 702-957-1037. Join the Discord, troubledminds.org. Get your ass in here. Come say hi, and we'll put you on the show. Simple as that. What else do we got? What else are we looking at? What other news? Fukushima was worse than Chernobyl, I thought. Maybe. What's up, Rohan? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, maybe. I think in any case, it's all not good, right? It's all not good. I think the Fukushima, because it's right there at the ocean. Is that right? Like they're still pumping like radioactive water into the ocean down there, which is just horrific. But yeah, all right, so there we go. So we'll keep an eye on this and see if something comes out of this. This has been reported, like they said, back in June, but there's no actual evidence to suggest yet, well, wink, wink, that there's any sort of leak or meltdown imminent, let's say. Yeah. So anyway, let's continue. Let's go to Fox News. Everybody like Fox News? Yeah, me neither. Oh, well, what can you do? Critics slam FBI on Twitter for saying protecting America from terrorists is its top priority. Oh, cool. Yep. Quote, are you guys still planning on kidnapping and assassinating the governor of Michigan, or was that just another effort to make people on the right look like terrorists so you could justify the coming persecution of your political enemies? Conservative radio host Jesse Kelly tweeted, referring to the FBI's involvement in the plot to kidnap government Gretchen Whitmer last year. Weird, right? Weird. Yep. There's the tweet, and the comment came in response to the FBI tweeting on Wednesday, quote, protecting the United States from terrorist attacks is the FBI's top priority. We work closely with our partners to disrupt violent plots and keep our communities safe from harm. Hashtag NatSec. Yeah, NatSec. It's weird because it kind of, it's almost like hashtag nutsack. See what I'm saying? I don't mean to be super crude, but NatSec is, well, there you go. There's your super crude moment from Michael Strange on Friday. The comment came in response to the FBI tweeting. Yep, we read that. It was reported this week that the FBI had informants within the group that allegedly tried to kidnap and kill Whitmer and had been gathering intel and listening in on the plot all along. Quote, for 6 months, the Iraq war vet had been wearing a wire, gathering hundreds of hours of recordings. He wasn't the only one. A biker who had traveled from Wisconsin to join the group was another informant. The man who'd advised them on where to put the explosives and offered to get them as much as the task would require was an undercover FBI agent. So was a man in one of the other cars who said little and went by the name Mark, BuzzFeed reported Tuesday. And there's that article, which we should probably talk about, right? We should probably talk about something like this because as unfortunately we've talked about if people are out there ready to do terrible things. What if they had never encountered these FBI informants that are supposedly going to bring the bombs to the party? You know what I'm saying? Would they have become radicalized? And so the question, as a philosophical question is, are these people actually radical enough to be doing damage or hurting or killing people, or is the FBI radicalizing them to do these things? Right? It's an unfortunate thing that seems to maybe be the case. So I don't know. You tell me. That's up to you to decide. Anyway, so other critics swiftly responded to the tweet with various examples of how they feel the FBI botched national security in recent years. Sean Davis tweeted this: "Are you the same FBI that rented an apartment for 2 of the 9/11 hijackers, and the same FBI that claimed the attempted assassination of Republicans was suicide by cop, and the same FBI that claimed Fort Hood was workplace violence? Or was that a different FBI?" Clowns. Yeah, well said. Matthew Termand, or however you say that, also tweeted this regarding the situation. Forgotten addendum. Quote, "When we are not fomenting them ourselves, are wiretapping innocent Americans who have the good sense to want to check the power of us and our fellow punch-drunk with power goons." That could have been worded better. Nick Searcy tweeted this: "You misspelled, quote, 'We are a criminal organization that entraps private citizens into illegal acts for political purposes.'" Yeah. Right, that's probably well said. There you go. Alien Echan. Didn't this used to be called entrapment? Yeah, there it is. I think so. Kurt, what's up, says, "You have the right to remain silent. Every citizen should assert to it. So should the FBI's social media people. It would be less embarrassing." Yep, there you go. This guy says, "Pete, cool. Can you tell us what happened in Vegas now?" Yeah, exactly right. That Vegas shooting that got swept under the rug. That right. It was not politically expedient and it was embarrassing, so they just tried to make it go away. Yeah, remember? I've talked about that. Yeah, I drove by the sign. Exactly 30 days. 30 days. They had the memorial up on the right there by where the shooting took place, right off the freeway. I drove by every day going to work and coming back. Exactly 30 days they had the memorial up, and then they took it down, and it was a nice little a billboard of people grilling shrimp and having a swell old time at the club. Yep. Yeah, 30 days. It was one of those things, right? It was like 30 days later, the community here was still shocked. And they wanted business as usual and keep on trucking, right? Which was a little bit disgusting. But yeah, so there you go. As long as we know that the top priority for the FBI is keeping terrorists under wraps, right? Yeah, terrible. This is not good. So as I've said, as we've talked about, it is a way to get after political enemies, right? Political dissidents, as it were. And you don't even have to be a dissident anymore. You just have to not be part of the appropriate party, right? And so if you're not, then you're dangerous. And this is exactly why government itself can be dangerous. Was it George Washington that described government as fire? Something about a fearful master or something like this. I don't remember the exact quote, but yeah. See, now I've done it. I ended up on another list because I brought up George Washington, right? So anyway, let's keep on trucking. Interesting. So we'll look at this. The FBI insiders that were part of that Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping, if you guys remember that whole deal, right? Again, right, radicalizing people it seems to be the business at hand for these individuals in the FBI these days, which is a shame. It's a damn shame. So anyway, let's continue kicking it here. Continue talking about crazy stuff. Once again, if you guys want to be part of the show, you have comments about any of this, give me a call, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. That phone number is persistent, by the way. So if you're catching an archive of this on the podcast feed or something, you can call and leave a message, and we'll play it on a future show. I've got some. What's up, Jack? Shout out to Jack out there. He's left me a couple voicemails. But I don't think anything really appropriate to play on the show. It was more like, hey, Mike, I want to give give you a heads up on this or that or the other thing. So if you have like a comment on the stuff we're talking about one of the shows, things like this, I'll download it and play it on the show. So it is a persistent number, and it will take voicemails if we're offline. So there you go. Let's go to sciencex.com. Now, this is a little strange. This is a little bit more, what would you call this? Probably more in line with the troubled minds, with the electric universe theory, right? Stuff like this. ScienceX.com reports, electromagnetism is a property of the space-time itself, study finds. Weird. Don't they have that electric universe theory like I was saying? Yeah, maybe. Maybe we should revisit that. Imagine if we could use strong electromagnetic fields to manipulate the local properties of space-time. This could have important ramifications in terms of science and engineering. Electromagnetism has always been a subtle phenomenon. In the 19th century, scholars thought that electromagnetic waves must propagate in some sort of elusive medium, which was called ether. Later, the ether hypothesis was abandoned, and to this day, the classical theory of electromagnetism does not provide us with a clear answer to the question in which medium electric and magnetic fields propagate in a vacuum. On the other hand, the theory of gravitation is rather well understood. General relativity explains the energy and mass tell the spacetime how to curve, and spacetime tells masses how to move. Many eminent mathematical physicists have tried to understand electromagnetism directly as a consequence of general relativity. The brilliant mathematician Hermann Weyl had especially interesting theories in this regard. The Serbian inventor Nikola Tesla thought electromagnetism contains essentially everything in our universe. So what is the mutual relationship of electromagnetism and gravitation? We provide one possible explanation to the riddle. So this is the missing link here. There's a lot to this. Conclusions. We believe that empirical research on this topic is important. This means measuring the local curvature of space-time when there are strong electromagnetic fields present. Perhaps one could use, example, superconducting coils and laser light to measure any deviations of the fabric of space-time. Artificial modifying of space-time could have extensive benefits in the field of engineering, for example. Finally, it is worth mentioning that our approach has the benefit of simplicity. We do not need extra dimensions, torsion sensors, asymmetric, metric tensors, or the like. So there you go. There you go. Simple as that. Electromagnetism is a property of space-time itself, a study finds. So that's kind of cool, right? That's a little bit like what Tesla was saying. What's up? I see you, Daryl. I see you on the Discord. I'm watching all the chats. Welcome to the show, Daryl. How are you? Yeah, Nikola Tesla, right? Cheers. Exactly. Good stuff there. All right, so if you guys want to be a part of the show, I'm going to put up the phone number one more time. We're nearing the end of the show, but don't forget, we are going to be on a Saturday night as well. So we have another Troubled Mind show coming up tomorrow night. So it's one of those weeks, right? It's one of those shut up, Michael, and get to work. Well, all right, you got it. Saturday, 7 p.m. We'll be doing another Troubled Mind show. So maybe we'll be talking about some of this, maybe this electromagnetism thing, or maybe we'll be talking about the FBI informants and how they radicalize people. Who knows? There's lots of things to talk about, isn't there? Aren't there? Won't there? Yes, whatever I just said. All right. Anyway, yeah, let's keep on trucking. Yeah, that sounds simple, right? Totally. That's simple. All right, let's go. This is fantastic. This is more technocrat moderation. And if you guys weren't part of the chat last night, after the show, I've been hanging out in the chat there with Jay for 20 or 30 minutes as we drink a couple of beers, and I'm doing my work, thumbnails and write-ups, and the extra work that goes after the show. And we had a bunch of people jump in there last night, and lots of folks. Axel was there. We had Austin was there. We had Matt was there. We had Rohan there for a little bit. Lots of good people, smart people hanging out and chatting. So that's what Discord's for. So if you guys are into that, keep an eye out. We'll from time to time just jump in there after the show and have like a little public gathering where whoever wants to come by can jump in and say hi. So reason I bring it up is because I was saying last night in that little chat we had that the moderation tools on Facebook are such that you could actually put a particular keyword in your Facebook page. So if you don't want anybody to use the word COVID, for instance, you could type that in as like a little auto moderation feature, and anytime somebody types it on your Facebook page, it will literally just not show up. It'll just be redacted, in real time. And that's what's happening with these poor mod things that are happening on Facebook. So back to this article. ZD.net reports on Facebook, quoting Dune gets you suspended, while posting COVID and vaccine misinformation gets you recommended. Yeah, right? Yeah. We on Troubled Minds on Saturday or on Twitter, Twitch? Not Twitch. It'll be on. It'll be the normal spot, not Twitch here. It'll be Facebook and YouTube and all that. So we'll be doing it there. Also on the Fringe. We'll be on the Fringe FM. So we'll be doing it there as well. So here we go. On Facebook, there we go. So let's see. It was it was Wednesday night. Russell Hawley, managing editor for Commerce of our sister site CNET, was beaming on Facebook about how he was able to get into a sneak preview of Dune, the Denis Villeneuve directed, I don't know who that is, Villeneuve, directed film adaptation of Frank Herbert's 1965 sci-fi epic that is due for an October release. His post was accompanied by an iconic image of Kyle MacLachlan and Sting, yes, the lead vocalist from The Police, in the final scene of the 1984 David Lynch version, in which they duel with daggers to the death. If you haven't seen the 1984 film, you definitely should, blah, blah, blah. Point being, they put a movie quote up, it was taken down. Here you go. Here's the actual, so this guy's kind of bitching and moaning about how bad Facebook is with their moderation, and I agree 100%. If you quote Dune, they'll take you down, right? Yeah, Saturday. It'll be tomorrow. About let's see, it's 4 now, so 24 plus 3, that's 27 hours from now. 27 hours from now, we will be on Twitch, or not Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, DLive, Periscope, like always, and we'll be on the Fringe FM as well. All right, so this is exactly what we're talking about with technocrat moderation. When you can't do it, speech is so nuanced that you just can't drop like a list of keywords and moderate that way. It's lazy. It's counterproductive. It cuts out things that could or should be said, that should be allowed, and they're not allowed. It's sloppy, it's ugly, it's stupid, and it's the world we live in. So yeah. So we got an extra show. We got an extra show tomorrow. So like I said, shut up, Michael. Get to work. Talk about the aliens. All right. I'm sorry. I'll get right on that. Sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. All right, so let's go to nature.com. NASA investigates renaming the James Webb Telescope after anti-LGBT plus claims. All right, well, remember all the James Webb Telescope? Everybody's like, yay, I can't wait for this. This is going to be really sweet. And by the way, the Fringe FM live stream is going to be a 24-hour stream. So starting tonight, after the Secret Teachings with Ryan Gable at 11 p.m. He starts at 11 p.m. and goes till 1 a.m. Pacific time. So at 1 a.m. Pacific time tonight, Joe Roop will start a 24-hour stream or until he drops. So it's going to be a fundraiser to get the station back to where it needs to be to keep it on the air. And that's what's up. So it'll start, and he's basically going to go until he passes out, falls out, as he said. And I think that's funny. But hopefully we can meet a goal. The goal's really not that big. It's just get some bucks to get everything pushed in the right direction. So that's what's happening. So that'll start tonight at 1 a.m. Pacific time. It'll be right on the Fringe FM, and it'll be Joe Roop, and basically have everybody, right? It's going to have everybody that you know and love on Fringe. It's got Ryan Gable's going to do some time there. You're going to have Alex Exum, Jess Rogie. You're going to have who else? Gigi from Shift Happens. I think Dave is going to be there. Dave Cruz as well. I don't know. Basically everybody who's everybody. Amalie is going to be there. I think basically some of the commercials you hear from the people. I don't know what you guys know about Twitch, but there's a whole lot of people involved with it, and so everybody's chipping in some time to help the network there. So anyway, that's what that's about. Starting tonight at 1 a.m. Pacific time. And here we go. And so I'll be on around then too. I'm going to jump in probably around 1 or 2 tonight because I'm always awake anyway, and kick it with Joe for a little bit. So there you go. When I do that tonight, if anybody's awake, I'll post it to the Discord and blast it out to everybody that I'm jumping on. But here we go. So NASA investigates investigates renaming the James Webb Telescope after the anti-LGBT comments, right? Of course, NASA is considering whether to rename its flagship astronomical observatory, given reports alleging that James Webb, after whom it was named, was involved in persecuting gay and lesbian people during his career in government. Keeping his name on the $8.8 billion James Webb Telescope, just set to launch later this year, would glorify bigotry and anti-LGBT sentiment, say some astronomers. But others say that there is not yet enough evidence against Webb, who was the head of NASA from 61 to 68, and they are withholding judgment until the agency has finished an internal investigation. There it is. There you go. So, well, at least there's some sort of due process. Speaking of due process, has anybody seen that that there's a show on Netflix called Turn? Turn, and it's about the Revolutionary War of 1776 and the redcoats and that whole bit, right? You guys remember that debacle? Well, it's I thought it was fascinating. So I've been watching it kind of as I go to sleep. I'll put on an episode and watch 90% of it and then fall asleep. But there was a fascinating part of it that I was watching last night as I fell asleep, and it almost seemed like it was a nod directly to the Bill of Rights. There was, a scene in there where the redcoats are collecting all the guns in the town. There was a scene where basically they're like, well, screw the trial. Let's just hang these people as traitors, right? Which of course is going to be your right to a speedy trial in front of a jury of your peers, right? Things like this. I was watching it and I was like, damn, this is really well done. And kind of the freedom of speech, being able to speak out against tyranny, things like this. It was all there, and some of these elements are no longer allowed. This is part of the things, right? If you bring up the Bill of Rights, you're a revolutionary, which seems absolutely ridiculous to me, but it is what it is. But I thought it was really well done. If you guys haven't seen Turn on Netflix, I think there's 4 seasons of it. I just finished the season 1 last night. It's really good shit. So if you guys haven't seen that, but notably with this is due process, right? Now they're opening an investigation into this James Webb character because, well, he was anti-LGBT. See, there you go. LGBT plus. Well, dare I go afoul of the letters and not become like James Webb. Here we go. This is another one. Now this one, this is I'm going to file this under no shit, really. Yep. Report QAnon shaman in plea negotiations after mental illness diagnosis. No shit. I mean, really? No offense, but nobody dresses like that. Come on. I mean, come on. The participant in the January 6th U.S. Capitol riots, nicknamed the QAnon shaman, is negotiating a possible plea deal with prosecutors after prison psychologists found he has a variety of mental illnesses. Now, and again, I understand mental illness is a really horrific thing, all right? So I'm not making light of that. I am just pointing out that if you look at that guy, saw the way he was acting, I'm pretty sure, right? That's not just a weekend at the LARPers Fest. That's going to be something a little different. So just wanted to point it out that, again, right, and we live in the no shit Sherlock land, and there we go. As we know that sometimes the obvious thing is not the obvious thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyway, that's what's up. It's a happy Friday. This is Troubled Minds News, and we're just doing our thing. We're kicking it, hanging out, having a good time, and I got time for you. We have time for you. If you want to be part of the show, you have comments on any of this stuff, give us a call, 702-957-1037. We're kind of at the end, but like I always say, nobody tells us when to start or when to stop. We're grown people. We'll do it ourselves. So if you have something to say, we have time for you. Give us a call. Get in the Discord and comments on anything that we talked about today, or show feedback, or if you want to say hi, any of that stuff is all good. And if, of course, yep, there you go. See, 40s AM has it right. Call in now to have a longer show. That's it. So if somebody calls in right now, the show must go on. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the thingamajigger here, the outro, and we'll get ready for that. But in any case, we'll let's talk about some weirdness. All right, there we go. Well, it looks like we have a taker. Let's go to our friend, the mighty Rohan. What's up? How are you, my friend? Welcome to the show, the mighty Rohan. Testing 1 2 1 2. Hello. Just need to unmute and you're good to go. What's up, everybody? What's up? Hello, hello. Rohan. What's up, buddy? Speak to me. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna keep trucking here, and if Rohan gets it figured, we'll put him on. All right. So deal is this. I know I got some folks that I haven't added to this list. Sorry about that. As you know, it's been a crazy busy week, but and we're gonna continue having a crazy busy week this weekend because we have another show on tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific. So there it is. Gonna be all over the place. Like I said, I'm still working on some other stuff too. We may have more bonus content that goes straight to the podcast feed and doing our thing. What's up, Rohan? How you doing, buddy? I can hear you now.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to get my mixer sorted out.
That's okay. That's all right. That's what we do, man. Us audio types, you're always tinkering with something, right?
Yeah, yes. Windows updates. Oh, it just changes everything.
Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah. Man, when you get it dialed in, though, man, I tell you what, don't ever touch anything again because it'll fuck it all up. What's up, my man?
Tell me about it. I saved my MIDI maps and all sorts. But anyway, yeah.
You got to
do it. You got to do it, man.
Hell yeah. Killing it, and hanging out. That's what we're doing. What's on your mind today, my friend?
That's what I'm doing, yeah. Well, all sorts, man. But yeah, no, I was just thinking back to that when you was talking about some of these alphabet agencies that may or may not be doing nefarious things, which I'm sure they're not, especially not the CIA because they're great.
Clearly not. Clearly not.
Not those people. They wouldn't do that.
No, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I just cast my mind back to in 2015. I don't know if you remember, where there was some people arrested impersonating police officers for the Masonic police. I don't know if you remember that. And they had trucks and vests and everything. And it was like, no, we work for the Masonic police. And I don't know if you remember that.
No, where was that? Was that here or in the UK?
In the US. It was it was on. I remember seeing it on CBS. It was a CBSN broadcast, Masonic Police. I remember it. I looked it up. It was just crazy. Yeah, I've got a link in YouTube. I was sticking in the old chat thing.
Okay, all right, sweet. Yeah, I don't recall. Like that's the thing, right? There's only one of me, so it's tough keeping up with all the information. But yeah, that's fascinating. So what are you saying that this Masonic police force was actually a 3-letter organization, or it was just a fake something or other?
That's the thing. Everyone was saying when it always a fake. They're all a fake. The neighbours like, well, we didn't know there was a fake. They had a website. And they were saying, oh, no, our bloodlines run deeper than an application. This is an obligation for our family bloodlines. But I thought, who decides to do that? And where do you get police trucks from and police equipment? It just seems strange. I just never got an answer for it. You know,
I demand answers. We want answers. We want the truth. Yeah, I don't know, man. That could be one. Maybe we add to one of the shows here. Yeah, I don't know. I think as people describe here in the States, they say something like that would be a militia, right? Except it's unregulated. if it's private citizens, but if it's not, well, what is it really then, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And how would you know? And it's like, I think there's something to this. I mean, you might have mentioned, we're touching on this in the show yesterday. There's something about, it's hard to know what's real anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? And we're getting a lot of, I'm getting information from the internet mostly, but I'm aware it's cyberspace. So none of it's real on the one hand, but on the other hand, I know that other countries exist and other people are real, you know? So things have got really conflated, haven't they? I think over the years, you know what I'm saying? And it's a tough one. So that's why we do these shows, isn't it? Though, you know.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's less important to me to even really consider the truth anymore because there's so much BS you got to parse through just to even maybe consider the truth is still real. So, like I always say, I think the value lies in the conversation and asking those questions, less so than getting real answers, right? But yeah, that's why we do it, man. You're completely right. Yeah, so I hadn't heard of this. Thank you for the link. I'll check this out. It's actually super short. We might even be able to play it. You want to hang out a second while we play this?
News bulletin, yeah, man.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. So this is, this is Rohan. What's up, the mighty Rohan? And he shared us this. This is about members of Masonic police force arrested. WTF. Let's play this. Oh, it's muted.
Three suspects in California are accused of running a fake police department and put under arrest. One of the suspects even works for California Attorney General Kamala Harris. I'm 48 Hours Crimesiders' Michelle Sagona. The ruse began in January when the San Diego Sheriff's Office says various police chiefs in Southern California began to receive letters from the Masonic Fraternal Police Department. The letter said specifically that David Henry was now the chief and he was requesting a meeting with each agency. According to a press release, Captain Roosevelt Johnson of the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Office actually accepted a meeting with Henry, Tonette Hayes, and Brandon Keel. They showed up dressed in uniforms and said they were setting up shop in the area. All three were arrested and now charged with impersonating a peace officer. The group claims to have jurisdiction in 33 states and in Mexico. They allegedly believe they're descendants of the Knights Templar and that their group was founded 3,000 years ago. But medieval scholars say their claims are incorrect and that the Knights Templar was founded during the 12th century Crusades in Jerusalem.
All right, that's probably enough to get the gist of this. Wow. No, yeah, I had that one completely missed me. That's nuts. That's nuts, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it just popped in my head, because I thought that was nuts as well. And I've been sitting on it for 6-7 years thinking, what? And then I forgot, I didn't know who this was. Kamala Harris. I'd never heard of her then.
Yeah.
I've heard of her now.
You know who that is? Uh-huh. Yeah.
Hello. Ding, 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 ding.
I have a tweet that I sent out maybe 3 years ago or something that I'm regretting fully now, but I tweeted to Kamala Harris that you will never be president. And now it's dangerously close.
It's your fault. How dare you, Mike?
Yeah, right. Oh, and I'm sure she's got that one printed out and hung on the wall for the second we have a falling out with the commander in chief, and now she's going to come get me.
Bill Clinton painting you in a dress, just waiting. I bet you.
Right. Yeah. Craziness, man. I don't know. That's an interesting one. So maybe we'll add that to the conversation of the rest of this, the 3-letter organizations that are possibly radicalizing people. I think that's a kind of a nice addendum to that conversation. Is how are they related? Is there a link between the Kamala Harris and the rest of this stuff? I have no idea. Nutters, man, nutters. We got Daryl on here too. Let's get Daryl on. Don't go anywhere, Rohan. Let's do it.
I'm here. Yeah.
All right. Don't go anywhere. We got a who's who. What's up with troubled minds now? We got Daryl and Rohan in the Discord here. What's up, Daryl? Can you hear us? Are you there?
Mute button.
Mute button.
That's what I forgot to do. So mute button on the Discord.
Mute button on the Discord. All right. So anyway, what else is on your mind? What we got you on here, Rohan?
What was I said a train of thought there? Yeah, I was listening to that show that, with the alphabet agencies and infiltrators as well. We was talking about Russian stuff. And I'm thinking, because it don't take much, does it? It only takes a couple of infiltrators to get in, say, let's pick a random one like the CIA. It only takes a couple of infiltrators from a foreign agent, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To then have a little program, to be in charge of one little program. Got, say, 14 staff under him. 4 of them really like him. So he does his little side project, siphoning off a few resources to get some colleges to start teaching certain things. And before you know it, one of your own homegrown intelligence agencies is indoctrinating your kids using, say, a few little sneaky communist lines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That sparks off an idea for a social justice cause. It don't take much, and then it only takes 20 years. Remember, it only takes 20 years to completely change history, because you only have to re-educate one generation. And as long as you can separate that generation from people who know the history, wait for them to die, then you've changed history. And then, like Max Egan used to say, you can then say, oh, we've had a disaster, lots of people have died, let's repopulate, move the kids around the world, teach them whatever the hell you like, and tell them that we're just coming into an industrial revolution. Then give us radio waves, electricity, television, then computer chips, then give us the internet, take 100, 200 years to do it, then crash it again and start over.
Yep.
You know?
That
could be our story.
So exactly. Well, it's happening right before our eyes. It's happening, and it's exactly straight out of the 1984, right? George Orwell, where literally he says, if you control the present, you control the past, and as a result, you control the future. I think I fucked that up, but let's see. I've got it on my website, so let's get that correctly. But yeah, man, like this is a scary time because clearly, like we talk about mass media brainwashing and this type of thing, it's happening, man. It's real. Like this is real.
Yeah.
And once you have the next generation indoctrinated, forget it. Like there's no shutting them off. They're going to just continue pushing the exact thing that is awful here. Let's see. Go ahead.
I'm so glad you made that specific point about how the brainwashing is real and we're seeing it, and because that's kind of freaked me out just recently because of people in my life where I've realised I've had this sort of realisation that it's really come home. Yeah, people in my life, people that I know, some of them aren't brainwashed, and some of them are, and I can see the difference. And I'm watching people over the last year and a half, literally refuse to look at something and turn away, even if it's a national headline. You know what I'm saying? They'll say, "Oh, that wouldn't happen," and I'm like, "Well, it did, and it was on the TV, and that's why people are complaining, and that's why it's in the national newspapers." And they'll say, "No, it wouldn't happen," and then they won't look at the link, and they'll be talking like you're some kind of conspiracy nutter, and I'm like, "But it's in the national papers. It's not fake." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If a brick drops on the floor and we take a picture and someone puts it in a national newspaper, people saw it, there's pictures, you can't then say, "No, I'm sure that wouldn't happen." It don't make sense, does it, to do that? So then I'm thinking, why is that? And then I'm thinking, because the alternative is for your whole worldview to melt completely. And that means your ego's got to take a hit and realize it's been completely duped, which is like your ego thinks it's going to die because of that. So then letting your worldview melt and looking at these things and considering it, it feels like death.
Yeah.
And then if you have a pandemic on top of it, which is about death, then you're going to pick which death narrative do you want? The one from the experts or the one from the amateurs? So you're going to trust the experts, aren't you?
well, if we're talking death narratives, I prefer none of the above, please. This is what I was saying last night too, a little bit on that show, is that like we got to consider that we've been like they've got to us, right? Like don't be so sure that we're not part of the brainwash crowd, right? That's kind of my point, is that you never really know how deep that stuff goes. And so just, don't be too emphatic about the truth, in my opinion, because if you do, you are also running people off, right, away from yourself. Yeah. So just to throw that out there. And here's that quote from George Orwell. And if all others accepted the lie which the party imposed, if all records told the same tale, then the lie passed into history and became truth. Who controls the past? Who controls the past? Ran the party slogan. Controls the future. Who controls the present? Controls the past. And there you go. That's the George Orwell.
That's it. That's it. Do you know what? Funnily enough, that particular quote and that particular thing it's talking about, it's actually the only scene I've ever seen on Babylon 5 by pure chance, right? That I happened to turn it on one day, and it was where somebody has gone into some galactic archives on Babylon 5, and they found out that they're going into the holographic computers or whatever, and they've been editing history in the past. And so that's been changing like borders in the present. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they didn't realize that actually, because you just do it, don't you? And then you go, "Oh, you've come in our territory." And we're like, "No, we haven't. We've been here for ages." And like, "Yeah, we checked the records." And like, "Oh, sorry, shit." And then really someone's just in there editing it every day. So gradually you edit it, and gradually the present starts to change naturally, because people just start falling in line, thinking they've made little mistakes here and there, and you just don't know, because it's over a long time scale, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you want a good example of that, just go look at Wikipedia, right? There's some dirty stuff going on with that already, and so if that's the arbiter of truth, we're in big trouble because they're already spinning what history looks like, and just very Orwellian, right? Like if you rewrite the past, then you control the future, and that's where we're at, and it's a shame.
But I think I've never understood how Wikipedia survived as a. When I found Wikipedia, when I first found it, I discovered you could edit it. Anybody can edit it.
Yeah.
Like it was open source. And I was like, well, it's pointless then. Yeah, the reason you have encyclopedias is because it's solid. The reason Eastern languages survive and do really well, they mean the same thing for thousands of years. You can depend on it. You can depend. So how's Wikipedia of any use to anything ever? I use that to lead me to bother to research. You know what I mean? I use Wikipedia as a reference to see if something might exist and then go and look it up. I don't use Wikipedia as a resource because you can change any of it.
Because it's
unless it's something like Morgellons disease, claiming that it's all in people's heads and they're all crazy. And I tried to edit that to say in some cases there really are fibers. And maybe people aren't crazy, and it instantly changed. And I didn't know about bots and algorithms then. And that was like about 12, 15 years ago.
Wait,
and I thought that was weird.
So
I went back and
you edited the page on Wikipedia, and then
I edited the web page on Wikipedia and then it instantly changed back. So I went in again and I put it as an asterisk at the bottom so it didn't look sneaky. And it instantly changed because I had it on a laptop and I had it on a PC at the same time, so I could monitor it. And so I did it again a third time, right? And I thought I'll try and do it in a sneaky way to drop it in, just like they did with Project Paperclip, where it says ardent Nazi. They just slid in the word not.
Right, exactly.
Right, so I tried that, and it still caught it. And then I got a message along the top of the screen. And I thought, crap, just closed it. I thought, I don't want to see your message. It's like 3 times it had auto-changed it. And I thought, surely nobody sat there on the Morgellons page. And then I thought, shit, I know, it's a computer doing it, isn't it? It's the first time I thought, fucking robots are doing it.
The fucking robots, they're here. Skynet. Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. And that's the thing, too. So some of that stuff has been locked in, so it can't be changed. And other is like kind of left open, right? You look at like some right-wing talk show people, and there's nothing but smear and smear and smear on Wikipedia. As a matter of fact, Clyde Lewis from Ground Zero Radio, if you guys don't know who he is, like I said, if there's no Clyde Lewis, there's no Troubled Minds. He was the inspiration for this show. And so his Wikipedia actually had nothing but smear on there. It was like people were putting in ridiculous shit, like he was a Olympic swimmer, because there's an Olympic swimmer by the name of Clyde Lewis. They were saying that he's imagine all the terrible things you could say about a conspiracy theorist, right? All that was all over his Wikipedia page. And he did one show kind of infamously where he was editing his own profile, and it was editing back just like you're describing. And eventually he requested for it to be locked because it was all bad information. And so they actually locked it and removed everything. So now he has a blank Wikipedia. But that's exactly what you're talking about. It's not about even the truth anymore. It's about what people want you to perceive as the truth. And I can't remember what the big smear against him was, but it was it was something kind of ugly, as you would expect. But yeah, man, that shit's real. 1984 is here, and it's awful. It's awful.
It's crazy with like what gets censored and what doesn't. So I know there's talked to death about censorship for the last year and a half because it's been such unprecedented, acceleration in it. Okay, but for reasons I don't want to go into, I looked up this film on YouTube because it's really terrible and horrific and bad, just to see if it'd be on there, and I found it. And this film was called Legend of the Overfiend. The Demon Womb. It's that old anime from the 90s that caused a massive international kerfuffle. The censorship panels had to have a discussion to see if it needed its own category because it was ultra-violent horror porn anime. Like all kind of, what I'm saying?
Amazing.
And it had really deep archetypal, Masonic themes to it.
Right.
So there was holy shit, But that's on YouTube. Anyone can watch it, and yet you're going to censor somebody that says perhaps the virus came from a lab. You know,
Right,
And it's
exactly.
like, what's more damaging? You know,
Yeah, and there are a million examples just like that too. That's the unfortunate part. So let's wrap this up, man. We're kind of near the end here, but let's no Daryl. I'm not sure what happened with her. Probably the mute button. But I don't know. Final thought on all this. This is a crazy stuff. I'm only saying that because my dog's freaking out. I got to go get her. So I don't know what's going on with my dog. She's outside barking. She poked her head back in the doggy door to bark at me. So she's trying to tell me something's up. So maybe the CIA is here.
yeah. Get your camera on my UFO.
Yeah, right. Who knows? But yeah. Let's wrap it up because I have to go get my dog under control. But yeah, man, I appreciate you jumping on and talking about this stuff because, like I said, the more opinions, the more good information we get all in one spot. It's definitely makes the world go round. So thank you for jumping in today.
Yeah, sure, no worries. I was just being a bit facetious. I just wanted to make you do a show a bit longer. That's all.
Perfect. That's all right. Look, if I leave the option open, then we end up doing longer shows, don't we?
That's right.
So
yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. Thanks for taking us up on the offer. Appreciate that. Everybody, the mighty Rohan, thanks for hanging out with us. Daryl's in the on air here too, but something wrong with the Discord. We'll get your Discord fixed up, Daryl. It's definitely better than a phone call. So let's finish this up. Let's roll the thank you to the Patreon folks, and then I'll go grab my dog and find out what the hell's happening out there. Hopefully the CIA didn't show up, and I should probably stop saying that. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Let's play it.
Flowers, Mike. That's what they were saying.
Yeah. Right. All right. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for, like I said, I always say you could be doing 10,000 things. You're here with us instead. I'm honored by that. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the folks who have supported this show and spread the word and get the information out there. Twitch subs, AJ Dare, Alien Nichan. We got Dark Devious, 40s AM. Thanks to Dark Devious and 40s AM for throwing out the gift subs as well. We got iDent. We got Jay Up, Jay from New York, Noble Kal-El, Monochromatic, Not the Golf Channel, Flint 67, Stinky Carnival, Superbike, Satan Claus. That's Joe in Florida. We got Alien Nichan for doing both. Thank you very much. We got Axel Steele, Dark Devious doing both as well. Dwayne Dibley, Hell 21 J Up. Don't forget Johnson and Large Marge. Matt Sal, Twigs, Hell 21 J Up. Good stuff. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody. Thanks Rohan for hanging out with us. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific. One more show. The beat goes on. Michael Strange, the hardest working man in show business. Let's do it. Go! Rohan, have a great day, man. Thanks for hanging out. Everybody else, behave. See you tomorrow night. I'll behave. I'll just say as we finish up, hashtag NatSec. Yep, that's a thing. See you guys later.